Welcome everybody to this series about videos on how to do web design. And before we actually start doing web design and learning HTML, CSS, we're going to start by illustrating some elements. We're going to learn a little bit of how to use Illustrator, and that is going to help us to create elements for our future website. When we open Adobe Illustrator, the first thing we have to do is to choose the format that we want for our canvas. Normally, because we're doing web design, we're going to pick this one in the middle, common. So if I go here and see more presets, I'm going to see that I have a lot of physical presets, for example, letter or A4, which refer to a piece of paper, but also we have web. So we're going to go web and click on common, okay? So this one has a width of 1366 pixels by a height of 768 pixels. So I'm going to create that. Now this is looking a little bit too big. Okay, so the basic components of any Illustrator software, as we discussed last class, are the dot, or point, the line, and then the plane or the shapes we can build. Here on Illustrator, we always start by adding points or anchor points. So here, if I go to the third tool, here above me, you can see the pen tool, I can start making lines, okay? So I start by putting points, and then I can make lines, okay? So the anchor points can be placed anywhere in your Canva. I'm going to delete everything. You can put it anywhere in your Canva. So you can then go, this will be your starting point, and then I'll go to the other end, and that will be my end point. If you want to make a straight line, you can click Shift, and that will help you to make 90 degrees, 45 degrees, or straight lines. I'll click again, and now if I go to the selector, I can also modify the features of this line. For example, I can modify the color of the line. It could be a red line, it could be orange. Okay, here we see change the color. We could also change the width of the stroke or the line. So here we can make it, I don't know, maybe 60. So we have the line, okay? Now, the cool thing about Illustrator is that I can change the anchor points. So if I click on the selector here, the direct selection tool, I can move the anchor points wherever I want, okay? So forget about those cones, that's just a glitch. So here I can move this anywhere I want, but I can also change this line and make it to a curve. Okay, so if I click here in the anchor points, I could also change that. So we're gonna see that in a minute. Okay, now if I go back to my pen tool and I add several lines, I can also close this this shape, and now I can still change the stroke color, also the width. Let's do 10. But I can also change the fill. So all the area now, because we're working with a shape, I can also change the fill of our shape. Okay? So if I go to the direct point selector, I can change my shape, but I can also here, I can also make, for example, rounded edges, which is pretty interesting. So I can make this object looks very different. So that is one of the interesting things about Illustrator, that normally when you're doing a drawing, let's say you're drawing using bitmaps, you have to change each pixel, and here you can define and change the way you want to move the anchor points. So once I have a curve, I can also say here convert,